Hello and welcome to Kain Digital Talks. I'm David Kain, president of Kain Automotive, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing two personal friends of mine, Justin Brun and Ben Koller. They are the co-founders and principals of a company called Agile Creative Solutions. And I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more about Agile. So it'll be a lot of fun just learning what you can about their background because we've got a lot in common. And I'm actually going to start with Ben to just kind of let him introduce himself, and then we'll go to Justin and we'll learn more about Agile.
Sure. So Ben Koller, of course, thank you, David, for that kind introduction. I got my start in automotive in June of 2004, where I went to work for Acton Toyota as an internet sales consultant. So, David, like you, I'm a Midwesterner. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so not too terribly far from Lexington, Kentucky. I went to school out east. That's what brought me to the Northeast and ultimately to Acton Toyota. So I knew I wanted to work in automotive, love vehicles, love helping people. So I thought a career in automotive retail as a sales consultant would be kind of a perfect marriage. And as I was talking to folks and kind of understand maybe the right place to work, Acton Toyota was a dealership that consistently came up. So became an internet sales consultant. Justin joined me shortly thereafter. I don't want to give away his full story, but started working together, and it was kind of a perfect opportunity to collaborate with Justin, not just as a internet sales consultant, but eventually within the marketing and specifically the digital marketing for the dealership. So kind of with that, maybe I'll hand it off to Justin here.
Great.
Yeah, so I started at Acton Toyota in early 2005. So Ben and I were overseeing and had internalized the marketing initiatives at the dealership in its entirety for both sales and service, and found ourselves to become quite proficient over time. And we were fortunate enough working at Acton Toyota of Littleton in the standalone internet sales operation to be profiled by Automotive News and other magazines in our vertical, in our space. And we were receiving quite a few phone calls from dealerships around the country asking for advice. And we ultimately circled back with those dealerships and found that they didn't have the time or the know-how to execute on those initiatives. And that's when our first dealer-to-dealer digital marketing agency was born back in 2011.
Wow, how cool. So I'm trying to remember when I actually met you. Our mutual friend Todd Smith introduced me and said, these are two young men on the rise that really are practical. They've got a good orientation to what it means to take the creative ideas and actually turn that into car sales. Just out of curiosity, did y'all ever skate each other? Were y'all good coworkers? Did y'all get better unit grosses? No, I don't want to create any competitive energy here, because I know one of the keys that you all have is you work really well together. And the clients that we've had that have worked with you all previously have all to a person said they're just a pleasure to work with. So let's learn a little bit about Agile and how Agile came to be, and what do you want to focus on as a business? So Justin, could you kind of start with that, and then Ben can weave in his thoughts?
Yeah, certainly. So Agile was born here in January of this year, right after leaving our dealer-to-dealer digital marketing agency. We created Agile. With Agile, it's definitely a divide and conquer type approach. So this time around, Ben and I are kind of going back to our roots, and we're working directly with our dealer clients day in, day out on all initiatives, whether it be sales or service. We're overseeing those initiatives. So kind of brainstorming with those clients. We're able to take our 30 plus years of combined automotive retail and digital marketing experience and really bring that to the table for the Agile client base.
That's cool. So Ben, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, right. It definitely is a case of two heads being better than one. And so, being able for Justin and me to collaborate together and really take a step back in a lot of instances as we're working with our clients and they've maybe tasked us with a particular project or they have some questions, for the two of us to brainstorm together and then come up with a solution. for that client, whether it's just as simple as a solution as to how to position a sales event for the month, or whether it's really kind of deep diving and looking at third-party lead providers and is there appropriate return there. Whatever it might be, whether again it's more of a some sort of a marketing initiative, or if it's more kind of on the consultatory end to making sure it's money well spent for the dealership in terms of the various advertising sources, third-party lead providers, as I had mentioned. Whatever it might be, it's definitely the case of kind of Justin and me collaborating together to benefit that dealership.
Good. So one of the things that I really appreciate is you've done a lot of investigation as to how dealerships' websites are designed, their value proposition to the customer, the simplicity of the way it's set up so that navigation is easy. And you've actually provided some free reviews. Not that we want to talk about your services for free, but certainly I would point out that if a dealer is curious, I would assume you'd be willing to do a quick review and give them some feedback. But tell me a little bit about, if we could just educate dealers, some of the key learnings that you all get when you go into the traditional dealer website.
Justin, you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think what we see all too often on these traditional dealership websites is they're not easy to use, right? So the user experience is not all that great. And frankly, all too often we're seeing kind of these hostile takeovers of some of these, these third-party products and scripts, whether it's a chat or text tool or a trade-in evaluation. They almost kind of take over the website and are very kind of intrusive. So we see that quite often. We also see huge opportunity in terms of vehicle merchandising, with having really great seller's notes, having clear and concise calls to action on the vehicle detail pages and search results pages, promoting customer testimonials as well on those inventory pages. So a lot of low-hanging fruit there as it relates to kind of merchandising and then being able to promote your dealership value prop.
Additionally, if you could, Ben, let's talk a little bit about Google My Business, because you all have actually published some information on that and shared it with our clients. Why is Google My Business something that you all pay particular attention to?
Yeah, Justin and I commonly refer to Google My Business or GMB as local mobile SEO gold. So one, obviously it costs you nothing to create that listing and to have it there. And as we look, at the number of impressions and engagement that GMB profile or listing receives for a dealership, it's in some instances just about as much as your own website. And really, Google continues to roll out new features and enhancements to the Google My Business listing profile, to the point where it almost is, in a sense, a second website for the dealership. And so really being able to pay particular attention to that and really leverage as many aspects or components and features of GMB, it's really only to your benefit. And as I'd mentioned, we continue to see just the type of engagement that it receives, and then from that engagement leading to leads and more business. So it is one of those sort of components there to where not taking advantage of it is really only hurting yourself. And again, it's completely free. So why not use it?
Yeah, that makes sense. So one of the things that I think is unique about you all is that you're actually able to follow these creative ideas into the process and tactics at the dealership. And something that we've shared with several of our clients are these 5 little emails that could. So Justin, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, that obviously goes back to the little engine that could, but what about these emails? And certainly they haven't been evergreen. You have to adapt them, but there's also things that one thing that we appreciate is we're all about process and tactics with our business. And I've even told you all from time to time, now guys, we're really good at this. So you all help them with the creative and we'll work with process and tactics. But tell us a little bit about how your experience has helped you to guide that, because long-term marketing via email and texting and obviously conversations and even messaging these days is really essential to making creative really pop.
Yeah, I might actually defer that question over to Ben because he's really kind of the author and creator of those emails. I use those emails for the Agile Creative Solutions clients all the time. And I see just how results driven they are in terms of the responsiveness and the open rate and click-through rate. But maybe I'll kind of have Ben weigh in on maybe the creation of those and anything he wants to note in particular.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. So I mean, you're right, David. Most of the email marketing that we do as an agency is more, again, maybe geared toward different sales events and certain particular promotions. Whereas with a lot of the lead nurturing and that sort of long-term follow-up, want to leave it to the pros like you. But that's not to say with these little emails that could just again, given our experience and time in the dealership world and having spent time, say, managing an internet sales department and crafting the follow-up that exists. Yeah, we kind of created these little emails that could oftentimes we'll find some of the best and kind of most response generating emails are those that are very simple plain text style emails that look as if they're written one-to-one communication style versus maybe some of the more graphic rich type emails that you may want for a sales event. So yeah, these little emails that are just simple little emails that we can directly plug into a dealership's CRM and they can immediately start taking advantage of to see customer responses. And so it's nice to be able to add value in that respect and, put our hat on for a moment and play David. It's kind of fun. It's fun to do, but certainly I don't think we're any threat to replacing the great services you offer, but any sort of small value add we can do, we try and do that to the best of our ability.
Thank you. Well played. I appreciate that. And so let's talk about the name Agile, because here we are in 2021. 2020 really threw a lot of dealers for a loop, and Agile really is all about being dynamic and being able to be responsive to the marketplace. Why the name Agile, and tell us what you all prognosticate for 2021 and beyond for dealers. So Justin, I'll let both of you all take a crack at that, and we'll see the way you all approach the way you all think about it. And we can weave in different aspects, social and search and other things that you all might also be getting into.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for us, it's just being able to be nimble, be able to pivot for our dealership clients. When they need something, they need it right now, right? We know if you miss the day, you can miss the month.
Yes.
With many of these sales opportunities, having special offers that are extremely attractive online for both sales and service, getting things done quickly for our clients, being available to them on our cell phones 24/7 should they need anything. They know that they can ring us. In fact, we have a Google Voice line that rings both of our cell phones. So you're kind of getting two account managers for each of these accounts with our digital design team, but being really nimble and being able to pivot for our dealership clients when they need something done. They want to roll out an event for the weekend. They need a little email that could help them with their month-end objectives. That's exactly what we're here to do for our clients. And I think as it relates to kind of 2021 and looking ahead, I think a lot of the things that have been important in the past, kind of these basics, I think continue to be important and relevant. Some of these foundational pieces that I had mentioned earlier in terms of vehicle merchandising and the seller's notes piece and the calls to action, having a why buy message on your website, branding your DR if you have digital retailing on your website. I think these sort of very basic things are still very relevant today and will continue to be relevant to help our dealerships stand out in the sea of sameness.
Oh, I agree. So anything to add there, Ben, about what you prognosticate for the future?
Yeah, no, I think Justin did a great job there. Just with respect to Agile, I think, now more than ever the case of kind of the only constant being change is definitely the truth for what we saw in 2020. And to be, successful as a business, you think about kind of the adaptability, flexibility, and the ability to be kind of agile and move as needed to be successful and to find opportunities. So that's really where the name itself, Agile, was born out of or came to be. In the case of, say, kind of looking ahead, I really see there being great opportunity for those dealerships that are just that adaptable, flexible, and agile. I think those certainly are certain challenges, and we're seeing that kind of most immediately in the case of, say, inventory shortages, and there's issues there, supply issues that, hey, are maybe difficult to wrestle with or grapple with. What can you really do maybe as a dealership? But then again, it causes you to think about, what can we do as a business here to kind of overcome these challenges? We're all in this same boat. The smart dealers who come up with good solutions will be that much further ahead. And so again, I think, with any challenge, there is opportunity there. And so just having that sort of mindset, and then also too thinking about, again, kind of, hey, what's kind of important, and what are things that I can truly control, and working to improve those. So staying focused now more than ever is extremely important too.
Cool. Awesome. So our joint client now, you all were able to bring on the Village Automotive Group up in Boston, a couple of Volvo stores, a Nissan store, Honda store, a Porsche store, McLaren store, GMC store. Very nice array of brands that they've got. It goes to the dexterity of what you are able to offer beyond just mass market, high volume brands, to where you have that really small McLaren focus. So that'll be fun. And I guess I want to say to those who are watching that, give these guys a try. I come from a big family. I'm one of 9, and Ben just had his first child, and Justin has one on the way. So they definitely will work hard. And when they say 24/7, they could be feeding the baby if it is in the middle of the night. So don't worry about giving them a call. They'll be glad to help you out. So gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I look forward to watching Agile really take off and grow and help our clients do much better. So thank you all very much for your time today.
Thank you kindly, David.
Thank you so much, David.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.